Good Erev Shabbos, everyone. As we're getting ready for this Shabbos Vayikra and Shabbos Hagadol Mukdam, if you're living in Fairways in Lakewood, please come to my women's Shabbos Hagadol Drasha at 5:30, and my men's Shabbos Hagadol after Mincha, which is about 7:15. Mincha is about 6:45, and if you're not in Fairways, then you could listen to my shir which I gave this past week, Pesach Gems 5785. It's on Kololoshin, it's on YouTube, it's on, of course, TorahAnytime.com. We are sponsored by the Fish family, L'Nishmas Basi Bas Rabbi Shalom Ben Avraham Alevi, Perel Bas Ruvain. We learn L'Nishmas David Ben Chaim, Refuah Shalema for Eliyahu Moshe Ben Chayesar and Yaakov Ben Basi Aleya. We sponsored by Yoel Klugman for their Parnas Gzun Nachas, and Refuah Shalema for Moshe Meir Ben Esther Fadel, Rivka Bashir Aleya, Dvar Bas Shashabina, and Meir Ben Chayesar, Vigdaya Ben Rivka. They should have a Refuah Shalema B'Seich Shar Chayla Yisrael. So we're holding in the fourth parak of Idiyos, Mishna Yud, Hamadir es Ishtay Mitash Mishamita. If he says that I vow not to benefit from intercourse with my wife, he can't do it the other way. He can't say that I vow that my wife shouldn't enjoy intercourse from me, because he's meshubit to give to his wife ona, and he can't do that. But he could say that he's prohibited to have pleasure from her. So Beis Shammai says shtei Shabbos, she should live with him for 2 weeks, but if it's longer than 2 weeks, then he has to give her a divorce, and he has to give her a ksuva. Beis Hillel Shabbos echas, she only has to put up with it for 1 week. Now the next part of this Mishnah is a little bit complex, in that we know that in Talmudic times, if a woman had a girl, so the first 14 days, her blood is tamei. The next 66 days, her blood is tahar. Now she's going to have to bring a set of karbanos for the baby that she had. Now, since the next 66 days are tahar, it is conceivable for her to become pregnant again and have a baby that's 40 days old and a fetus that's viable. If she miscarries during the Yemei Tara, before the malais of the Yemei Tara, the completion of Yemei Tara, she doesn't have to bring a second set of karbanos. If she miscarries after the 80 days, let's say on the 81st day, when she was already mechuyev to bring karbanos for the first set, then she has to bring a second set of karbanos. The question over here is, what if she miscarries on the night after the 80 days? The night going into the 81st day. On the one hand, she's still not able to bring her first set of karbanos, and therefore maybe this miscarriage can be rolled in together with her one set of karbanos. On the other hand, as Beis Hillel says, since it's after the malais, it's after the 80 days, she has to bring a second set of karbanos, and that's what the Mishnah says. If she's mapel on the night going into the 81st day, Beis Shammai says since she's not chayiv yet to bring her karbanos until the next day, so this can be absorbed into the first set of karbanos. She doesn't have to bring the second set of karbanos. Beis Hillel says since it's after the malais, it's after 80 days, she has to bring a second set of karbanos. The next thing in the Mishnah is sodin b'tzitzis, a linen garment. Now, a linen garment in the olden days would have to have one thread of tchelis. Tchelis is made out of wool. Now, linen and wool in such a case is permitted, because the Torah says that for the mitzvah you could have, even though it's shatnez. But Beis Shammai was afraid that you would put on the tchelis and you'll wear it in the night when you're not chayiv to tzitzis, and then you'll be over shatnez. So because of that, the Chachamim, according to Beis Shammai, were oiker a mitzvah b'sheva al tasa, and said that on a linen garment, even though it's four-cornered, you shouldn't put tzitzis. But Beis Hillel said they never made such a gezeira, and holds that you are chayiv to put on the tzitzis. Kalkalas HaShabbos, a basket of fresh fruit for Shabbos, which was picked for Shabbos. Beis Shammai Paitrin. Beis Shammai says already, Beis Shammai says before Shabbos, you could still snack from it. You see, for snack, you don't have to take a tithe. But Shabbos, the fact that it says with karasel, Shabbos einig, anything on Shabbos is a delight. Even a snack is considered kavua, is considered like a fixed meal, and it's chayav for tithe. Beis Shammai says, but before Shabbos, it's not yet hukva l'maisa, so you're allowed to have a snack. Beis Hillel says, since it was prepared for Shabbos, it already is hukva l'maisa, and you can't take a snack even before Shabbos. Now, Mishna Yud Aleph tells us, Misha Nadar Naziris Meruba. Somebody made that said Hareini Nazir for 2 years. You could do that. Stam Naziris is 30 days. But a person could say, I'm a Nazir for 2 years. And Vehishlam Nazirusai, and he was in Bangkok and completed his 2 years, not having wine and not cutting the hair and not being matami to dead, in Bangkok. V'akak b'loretz. Now here's the thing. The Chachamim were geyser a tumah d'Rabbanan for people in Chutz La'aretz, in the diaspora like Bangkok, because they didn't mark graves properly. And therefore really that would void the Naziris, because there's tumah. But since it's only d'Rabbanan, Beis Shammai says when he gets there, it's sure they only made him keep the minimum 30 days. Beis Shammai, Amrim Nazir Shloshim Yom. Beis Hillel says since he's tamim d'Rabbanan in Bangkok, he has to do the full 2 years over again. Beis Hillel Amrim Nazir Batchila, he has to start the 2 years over again. Now, let's say Chatzkel, there's 2 sets of witnesses. There's 2 sets of witnesses testifying against him. One says he accepted upon himself 2 Naziris, and one says he accepted 5. Since they contradict the Idiyos, they cancel each other out. That's a split testimony. In other words, they cancel each other out. He doesn't have to keep any Naziris. Beis Hillel says, look, all of them agreed to 2. One says 2 and one says 5. But yesh b'klal chamesh time, since in 5 is included 2, so he should at least have to keep 2. She'er nazir shtaim, he has to keep 2 periods of 30-day naziris. Wow, we want to thank you for joining us. Remind you, if you want to sponsor the last Haggadah Shir before Pesach next Wednesday, 718-916-3100, rmmwsi@aol.com, big schuss. Also, Shabbos, the double daf is at 10:15, giving me time to do Mechiras Chametz beforehand, and that's go to zoomdaf.com to join our 2 blot of Chelik and put in meeting code RMMW in capitals. Thank you very much for joining us, and have a truly wonderful Shabbos.